Good morning. This is Keith at 3-Day RV out here in Benton Harbor, Michigan. So this week's project, we're putting a very small solar package on a friend of ours' RV that we go camping with. And it's just a boondocker light package. It consists of a small solar panel, converting the batteries to lithium iron phosphate batteries, and a small inverter. So we're going to show you what we used, why we used it, and we're going to show you the test results of how this works out. Let's start with a solar panel. So this is POWERWIN's fold-up solar panel. This one in particular is a 220 watt. It's a pretty good, very lightweight solar panel. It has several plugs in the back, which I'll show you in a second. But I needed to have a way to quickly and easily get it connected to the RV, so it wasn't a pain for the owners to be able to carry a bunch of special adapters around and have to land some wires on a controller. So we picked up some 10 gauge SAE cable and plugs, and we ended up putting a port that goes right into the battery bank. This port goes straight in, connects to a fuse on the bus bar, and it comes all the way around. You can get longer cables. The one I used is a 10 gauge, so I don't have to worry about too much of a voltage drop. But this is the POWERWIN solar panel, 220 watt. And on a day when it's high noon, we had perfect sun, we get about 175, 180 watts out of it best. That's all I've seen here in Michigan. You know, we're not the closest to the sun. But the cool thing about the solar panel is it does have, let's come around here, it does have this. And you got multiple ways of connecting and using this. You don't have to connect this strictly to an RV. It's got different types of plugs and outputs, and it comes with all these really handy adapters. So there's multiple ways you could charge your tablet or smartphones, even a portable battery you could charge back up. So that's a pretty cool setup. These are the little Velcro kickstands that you fold out. So here's a quick shot of the battery and the components that we got from POWERWIN: charge controller and the solar panels. I'll make sure to drop the part numbers in the description to make it easy for you to find. Man, it is a hot one out here. But let's go inside. We want to show you the RV. The small camper we did is 18 foot. We did this for some friends of ours. And what I'll do is I'll flip this camera around and show you the little things that we did. And we use POWERWIN products, the battery solar charge controller, and we use the Renogy 2000 watt inverter to run the plugs and the essentials that they need for a couple of nights off-gridding. So let's take a look inside and I'll show you what we did. Let's turn some lights on. So underneath this cushion is where we wanted to build in the battery bank and the power control center for the lithium stuff. And I think we did pretty good with that. We've got two of the POWERWIN BT-100 batteries, and so far these things have not disappointed one bit on how well they take the charge and how long they last overnight. We did have to add switch gear in the other cabinet so that when it's plugged into shore power, it automatically transitions from off-grid mode to shore power. But as you can see, there's our bus bars. So we got bus bars in there. Of course, we have multiple fuses. And we made us a little control panel so that everything worked. We did use a Renogy shunt. I checked with POWERWIN. They don't make a shunt yet. And so charge controllers is in the cabinet over here. We'll show you that in a second. And that panel right now, because we don't have a clear sky today, that's what we're putting out, that little fold-up solar panel. So really can't complain about that. It's working pretty good. So I wanted to take a minute to talk about the lug quality, crimp quality, and the condition of the lugs, flat surfaces where they go into the bus bars. Make sure those things are flat, clean, If they need to be sanded a little bit to make sure that they're perfectly flat and not warped or cupped, take the extra time to do it. Details matter. I have a set of crimpers that I use that I got from Amazon. They work really good. They do that hex looking crimp. Fantastic crimpers, low cost for those. But just make sure that everything is nice and clean when you put it together. You wipe all the surfaces down with alcohol, and it will lessen the chance of you having a bad connection down the road, which is going to be found as a hot spot. You don't want that. So we sped this up so you folks don't fall asleep. This is where we cut into the panel where we mounted the monitor, and we were able to try to neaten things up and make the most out of space that wasn't being used in an RV. I'm sure you can relate. The whole idea of this is to put everything in a nice, handy spot without losing space on the inside of the RV. But we pretty much took advantage of dead space. This is another area that they could not use for storage because I had a mess of electrical wires in here. So we tidied this up quite a bit. We were able to put our batteries and our bus bars in here. Fishing and pulling wires. Ah, what a great day. So the type of wire we're using here is automotive grade wire. This particular wire we use is 10 gauge, and it's got the heavy jacket, so I don't have to worry about any nicks or scrapes or Mr. Whiskers. You know, those things happen. So after we got all these wires pulled in, what you'll see inside of this cabinet is the solar panel disconnect. So I have a ground-based disconnect on the left, and there's a roof-based disconnect on the right for future expansion. We figured we would wire this in and be ready for expansion if needed. This was a great find on Temu. This is a 10 gauge port. You drill a 7/16 hole, I think it is, right in the panel, slide the wires in and put it on a fuse. So anytime you use an SAE connector, you want to make sure that your positive goes to the positive side, negative goes to the negative. And you can see right here that that's not the case the way these MC4 connectors. We have to put a splitter in this. This is going to change our polarity so that my red comes in the top on this. So what I wanted to show you here was on this plug that I just bought. This plug shows that the negative wire is on the top of the plug, but as you can see, it shows the red here. But the way this MC4 setup is, the red right here becomes the negative. From the MC4 connector up, the red is the negative. So you have to pay attention to the polarity so you don't short anything out. So this is all set. Let's go see. So we're going to turn on the ground solar, and look at that, it's picking up solar right away, and we are starting to charge. Now, just so you know, it's late and it's not too long the sun will be going down, but you can see the MPPT, the maximum power point tracking charge controller, is ramping up quite nicely, and it's taking the power from our solar panels out there. It's coming in through a quick connect, comes through our fuses, through our battery shunt, and our batteries, in full disclosure, they are fully charged, so I don't expect to get a lot of charge out of this connector solar panel right now. As you can see, our voltage, we're getting close, and this charge controller is set for 14.4 per the manual, and as we can see, oh, look at that, 14.1, and as we start to get closer to that number, this controller will throttle itself down. All right, we're going to turn on the energy inverter for the very first test. I don't have anything cleaned up, we're just wanting to see how this works. I got it set for 60 Hertz. It's in RIM for remote. Connectors are all tight. Double check their polarity. And all the stuff has been double checked for being tight, and this is where I mounted the Alright. The inverter is inverting. How about that? So the lithium ion phosphate batteries, the POWERWIN batteries, and other brands, to be honest with you, they don't care which a lot of equipment that they connect to. This case is no different. We have the two batteries over there, and we bring the power in and we fuse it, and that little box in the back, that's our 2000 watt inverter, and then we have our transfer switch. I took the cover off of the inverter and mounted that so it stays together. It is in a wet bay, but I got it off the ground 4 inches, so that is a good thing. So hopefully if you're doing a project like this, when you get all done, this is what you get to do. Relax, enjoy the sunshine, maybe even have an adult pop. Here's the product website. And again, I'll put all this in the description so you can find these things. It's a pretty good product, and it's not a bank breaker. So thanks for watching this video, and make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll have future updates as we go along. Thank you so much.